you have a change of heart, wanna make a brand new start. You've been living on the edge with forever as a pledge. No more giving it up, turning me loose, setting us free. Baby, keeping it real, cause we got what it takes for sure. There's no turning back anymore. Can you see it's all a game? Life goes on all the same. If at first you don't succeed, all you've got is all you need. If you believe, then stake your claim.
Hello, 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 Rise and Thrivers. How are you guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Monday evening, July 21st. It's 8:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just a little bit of a setback, but we are set up and ready for you for tonight's episode of Rise and Thrive Together. In case you are new to Rise and Thrive Together or you just need a refresher, we are a vibrant community committed to empower, educate, and equip you to have the results that you want through real talk, taking real action. So super excited to be here. I cannot believe it's already the 21st of July. 3 weeks already into this month and 7 months into 2025. Super stoked to have this conversation with you with one of my favorite people in the world, my sister from another mister. Hey, Raquel, how are you?
Hey, everyone. My eyes are bugging. I was setting up my classes for the fall. I'm trying to do it early so there are no setbacks. But really, I'm usually last minute, and this time I'm like, no, I need to start early. But now my eyes are like, ooh. But hey, welcome. If you are new to Rise and Thrive Together, we are so excited that you're here with us tonight. Sis, how was you had vacation or something, didn't you?
Yes, when you talk about having some setups, right? Our family went on a 1 week, like for the first time in, I have been trying to figure that out. Like I think since, I don't even know, my honeymoon wasn't even a week. So 1 full week of relaxation with my husband and my daughter and my in-laws, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law in Cape Cod. It was extraordinary. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, go to my personal Facebook page. You will see a video montage of everything that the soul needs to reconnect to nature, reconnect to just self, enough of family time, enough of self time, where we just had really fun times together. And I got to bicycle ride. Raquel, I went on a bicycle almost every day, 4 out of the 7 days, did about 5 miles, getting up in the morning, driving to this quaint place for coffee and tea. I thought of you a lot when it came to teas. And, you know, when they say it takes 2 seconds to just get right back up like you're on a bike again, I haven't been on a bicycle in a decade. And it was really that easy. And it was so much fun. It's 105 degrees here in Florida. So with the humidity, so I did not get to come back and use the bicycle, but I did get up early this morning and Josh and I walked a mile.
Nice.
You know, we're just committed to these new routines that we have created to move that forward. So yeah, right.
Nice. Did the bicycle have the basket in front of it?
It didn't, but it had a super cool water bottle like area, and it had a little bell. It was awesome. And we got to go through woods and this really beautiful trail. And just extraordinary. And, you know, a little bit different, nothing against Florida. And it's like Raquel and I have been in New York. We worked in Manhattan together. No matter who you pass on the street, walking, running with their stroller, riding their bikes, every single person said hello to you. Every person was like, good morning, hello, smiles. It just brought back, you know, a reminder of how really awesome human beings are. We really are. Like, it's just like getting back on a bike again. It's all mindset. We know that. And so to be surrounded by that for 7 full days was really amazing. So refreshed, ready, and here we are. Like you're getting set for your classes for the fall. I came back to today of, same thing, getting ready for my classes for the summer. Like this is my end of the summer session. School starts exactly 3 weeks from today.
Wow.
Yeah, my daughter will be in 3rd grade, and I'm creating my fall program as well. So great minds think alike.
Awesome. And we have a guest. Can you tell us about our guest? I'm super stoked.
Oh my goodness. I am super excited to share with you guys someone who I've been blessed to know through an amazing, amazing leadership program that we were both in together. This is Victor Ferguson. He is really an amazing human being, and he is a incredible health and wellness coach. He really, he's been raised from Augusta, Georgia, and during his childhood, his sickly mother suffered 4 heart attacks, starting
Wow.
when he was 9 years old as a result of addiction to validating herself through work, bad eating habits, and physical neglect. He observed how a lack of consistent support left his mother repeating unhealthy patterns in his life. This led to an understanding of the importance of supportive systems or communities for a journey in building healthy habits. So when he moved from Augusta, Georgia to Atlanta, Georgia, he attended Morehouse College in 2002. He graduated in 4 years after serving as a protege for the Morehouse Business Association, as the NAACP vice president, and a big brother in the Big Brother Big Sisters program. When he graduated in 2006, he began a career in real estate, and he left the field following the financial collapse of 2008 to pursue a career in wellness. This led him to work at the YMCA as a wellness coach and creating a fitness organization and studying a master's degree program for occupational therapy from Howard University. He relocated to Baltimore in 2018 to start his own business and make a positive impact on the community. Victor is linked with an organization such as the Black Professional Men No Boundaries Coalition. If I say this name wrong, I apologize. The Sankofa African Children's Museum, and more. Having been able to develop relationships with amazing people and nurture communities with tools, as well as creating vulnerable spaces where culturally responsive information can be shared, has been an incredible experience for Victor. Woo! With all of that being said, let's bring on our incredible guest. Do you hear that?
Whoop, whoop. I love the cheering. That's an awesome
Thank
effect.
you.
That's an awesome effect. Oh yes, I feel honored.
Yes.
It's wonderful to be on the show with you two. Wonderful individuals. Like Regina was saying, we made a leadership program. That was amazing, and I'm so glad that we were able to connect and stay connected. I think it's beautiful just being on the journey and collecting wonderful people and just keeping them in your ethos and revisiting and being like, oh, how are you growing? How are you growing? How are you growing? How are you growing? So I'm grateful to still be a part of your journey and to see your growth.
Yes. Well, super excited, Victor, because guess what? I'm big into numbers. This is our episode 116.
Hey,
Consistently
okay.
every Monday evening. And we got you on tonight to have a conversation about turning setbacks into setups. And super just stoked. I know you just spoke to Raquel. I know you guys connected well. This is the first time that I've read your bio. Like, we don't kind of do bios, right? So it was, as everybody was listening, I was stoked because I was like, how many cool similarities you and Raquel have, but I don't remember about the NAACP vice president. I got my sister over there, the big president of the NAACP by her, just really, we're all about health and wellness, about communities, and really learning again about your mom. Like that was that moment. So thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. And I'm going to let my sister here start the conversation.
Well, I want to welcome. We're so excited to have you here. I've already got some questions. I checked out your website, and I'll ask you this question later in our program, but tell us about, we know how you got involved in health and wellness, and it's because of your mom and her eating, but you could have gone in any direction, right? So tell us more about that and the journey that led you to health and wellness.
I mean, I think health and wellness was really the root of my mom's illness. Because she never put herself first, and that's something that I've realized a lot of people do, where everything else is the priority, and keeping an image is a priority, and just checking these boxes and holding everybody else up is a priority. And I just realized that it would be great to have a space to create a cultural shift, like ideology shift, and to reinforce those healthy habits of self-care consistently. So that's why I really got into wellness. And I mean, and it was a whole journey, because and that's why even sharing my bio kind of gives a little bit of like, okay, I was into the more physical side, and then I got into occupational side, the nutritional side, and it's like, wait, like all of these things are super important. What would it look like if we really built together a network and an ethos to be able to, once again, reinforce and conjure up those healthy habits, and also connect communities with culturally responsive tools and outlets and resources for them to be able to keep those pillars of wellness up to date and evolving.
Okay. Now you said you keep the space to create cultural shift. Can you explain what you mean by cultural shift?
Yeah.
By cultural shifts, sometimes, especially now, and just the U.S. in general, I feel like is a hustle, go, 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 go kind of culture. It's just like sleep when I die, and it's like, no, sleep because you need it.
Don't shout me out, Victor. That's what I want to say, because I've said that. I've been like, you get enough sleep when you're
I'm not
dead.
coming for you.
Don't do that. Don't do that now.
Yeah. Nah, don't do that. We can't be. And the thing is, you can't show up consistently 100% if you're not taking care of yourself. So we have to put ourselves first. Even though even with kids, it's still like, let me check me first. Okay, yeah, I'm good. Okay, like, oh, let me check me. I'm gonna need to call my partner, or I'm gonna need to call my mom. Let me get me together. Let me take care of myself. So just kind of realizing that, and being able to have everybody with similar ideologies of self-care, and that's what I mean by being able to culturally shift, by everybody really being able to have dialogue, constructive dialogue, and create different ways of thinking and being that are more apt to wellness.
Got you. Thank you. I don't get enough sleep. Let me put that out there. But I've said that before. Yep. So the audience is not new to it. And you can hear in my voice I'm tired. I'm usually like, what? Yeah, I'm tired. I just can't seem to get my tail to go to sleep. I don't know why.
I tell you what helps for me personally is working out. I work out in the morning. Like, I'm usually good for about like 5 days out of the week. I've had a really busy kind of like month where I think I've scaled it back to like 3 days. But when I work out in the morning time and I go for the whole day, by the time it's time for me to lay it down around like 11 o'clock, 11:30 or whatever, it probably takes me all of like 2 minutes before I'm out. I knock out, like I turn off, and then I wake up probably like 7 hours, sometimes even 6 hours. I'm like, go.
You get a lot of sleep there. I don't get that much. There's some nights I do 4. For the month of July, I would say I probably slept 7 or 8 hours, maybe like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, that's not good. And I tell you that there's a cascade of disorders that happens when you don't get enough sleep. For one, I think it's very important for people to know is your cortisol does not get absorbed. So all the stress that you incur from the day, from the week, it still stays around in your body, and it creates that whole, that whole fight or flight response inside of your body, which causes you a lot of time to hold on to fat, because it thinks that it doesn't know when you're going to eat again. It thinks it's in, battle mode. So really being able to kind of like absorb that is super important. And also just metabolism in general, like your metabolism slows down because it's not able to fully recharge. So, so that's another thing is really giving your metabolism a chance to recharge and reset. So it's and that's just a couple.
I don't think you need to give me any more, Victor. I'm already feeling beat up, and that's a setback. I know my nutritionist, I saw her this week. She's like, you were great with everything else, but I need you to sleep. I'm like, I know. I need needed sleep.
I gotta share something.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna jump in because here's something very similar. Raquel and I are very similar, and we all are involved in health and wellness, and she's got a nutritionist, and I have other people I work with. And sis, right before I went on vacation, that was one of the things, we all have our ways. Victor and I are kind of high energy people, right? We're out there, we can go. And I don't always crash because I have my mind going. I ended up finding out that I was missing some magnesium. So I got some testing done and I bought this magnesium that I know absorbs into your body well. And I'm not joking. And this is, again, working importance, like you say. Cultural conversations, people of like-minded. And I bought this magnesium. And so I'm supposed to take it 3 times a day. And I took it once in the morning and once at night so far. And I have
That's funny you say that. I need some.
I slept. And I'm not, and I had a vacation and it was really a beautiful, relaxing vacation. But today was my, my classes. And just again, speaking to my person, not a nutritionist, but similar, my holistic wellness person. And that's what I found out I was really short on. No matter all the stuff that I put into my body, I was really lacking magnesium. And that has made such a difference so far.
I love the fact you said that. I'm funny you say that. I just said 2 days ago, I need some magnesium because my muscle, and this is part of the conversations to be had in spaces, is like what your body looks like when it's deficient. So I've been having, my muscles have been really tense lately, and that's one of the signs of magnesium. So a lot of times that tension can stop you from getting to a place of relaxation. Even though of course the lavender, the chamomile and everything is, that's cool for for a moment, but I think really at a more cellular level, getting that magnesium is gonna really help. And I don't really have a magnesium to go to right now. So if you don't mind sending me over that link, I would appreciate it. If it's sufficient as you say, I'm gonna use that. Like it's probably before the night's over with. I'm serious about my wellness. And that's a part of it is we have to slow down and be like, something's wrong with my body. Let me do what I need to for it, because that's how much I love and honor myself.
Now, how can not honoring your body set you back? Whether that set you back physically, we know how, right? Mentally, emotionally, connect that to setting someone back.
Oh my gosh. So many ways. I mean, people have mental breakdowns because they don't process anything. And it's like, emotionally, they can just, something can just set them off because they don't allow it to flow because they don't give enough time to process. They're just always in the go. So, I mean, between, mental breakdown, emotional fatigue, they can just not be present. A lot of times people are so caught up in trying to always do life that they're always planning for the next thing that they never enjoy the space that they're at. And also when it comes to dating, that's a big thing also. You can't be present for your partner because you're always on the go for the next thing.
I don't have a partner, so I'm good there.
Got you, got you. And I, and why that may suit you, for the people that do have partners, I think sometimes having somebody that you love close to you helps to reflect what you're missing in yourself.
Mm.
Oh,
You know,
I want the hearts to come up.
I don't have a yeah, I don't have a partner either right now, but when I do, it's always like, oh yeah, this, have you done this? You look like you need some more rest. It's like, have you? What was the last time?
But
Oh
you
yeah,
said it earlier. You
you're
just
right.
said just a couple of minutes ago. It's not about, so I want to make this clear to the audience. Doesn't matter partner or not.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a space of you're single and Victor has said, I don't have a partner. Raquel says, I don't have a partner. If you're interested in having a partner and you've got these deficiencies going on in your wellness,
Mm-hmm.
then how can you be present on the
Mm-hmm.
dating scene? Or if you're going on the dating
Mm-hmm.
scene, I don't care if you're using an app or whatever, that is that whole mindset. That whole mindset. If you are not fully in your optimal wellness, meaning mind, body, and soul, right? Getting the rest, eating the foods that nourish you, that work for your body. We can talk like wellness
Mm-hmm.
overall, right? But there really is a lot of stuff out there. I'm curious, Victor, as someone who's been in the wellness industry for a long time, one of the most fascinating books that I read was on your blood type. That there is that,
Eating for your blood type.
yes. What was it again? Say it again.
Yeah. The Eating for Your
Yes, eating
Blood
for your blood
Type
type. It was
book.
like I knew so that simple. And again, everybody, we're not promoting whatever. I'm just saying for me, it was a very interesting read and was very helpful
Yeah,
for me. Um, so that's
absolutely.
where I started finding out things about, myself. And so going back to the dating
Mm-hmm.
thing, or for someone who's married, right? Or someone who is not interested in dating and maybe has children, like you're saying, like you're single, have kids. It's really important. It's being present in that moment. And this vacation, like I was asking me before you came on, how it was so different because I started to, through the setbacks that I've been having, like you said, the pain, the not sleeping at night, the muscle fatigue, the crankiness, all of that, taking that time for myself and setting myself up in communities, conversations, and with people that I trust, that have set me up to say, try this, try that, and looking that up and doing the research. It's a journey, right? But like you said, it's all
Absolutely.
about it. It's about
Absolutely.
being in those communities and those conversations.
Mm-hmm. Being in those communities and those conversations, you said it, and that's they're not as readily easy to find as most people would think they are.
Hmm.
And also, online is nice, but really having people in person like that you get with, you can really be in that energy of, oh, this person is well. Like you can sense a person that's living a balanced life, and you can tell when it's like, okay, like, they're very easy, calm. Even though they're high energy, it's still like a certain calmness to them and balance to the way that they are. It's like, oh yeah, like this is what wellness looks like in action. Oh, okay, what do you do for the, oh, okay, cool. All right, why do this? Okay, what do you do? Okay, cool. Let me take this too and find out what works for me. Because like I said, everything doesn't work for everybody. Like
Right.
me, I've been pretty plant-based for like the last 9 years, but I don't think everybody's blood type supports that. I really don't. I think most humans, just because of like, kind of little nuances like the length of the intestines and the amount of acid our body produces and our teeth, different things that's like suggest we're supposed to be a lot more plant-based than not. And me personally, I've felt, a tremendous energy boost and mental clarity with being plant-based. I don't necessarily think that that's for everybody.
Mhm.
And I want people to do what works for them, but I want them to do it in a very mindful and informed way. Um, and I tell people this around wellness is like, you're going to be in your body all your life. So you might as well figure it out some.
Even if you make
You might as well
modifications to
figure it
your
out.
body, you're still in your body.
Oh, yes.
You're still in your body. You're still You're still
I'm not taking shots at
modification and
anybody.
all.
I'm just saying. But
No, you are.
let
You
me
just said
Right.
let me just say,
The BBL culture, you know what I'm saying?
listen,
The
I'm
BBL
just
dribbles.
saying. But let me throw this out there. Even though I survive, and I really do, and I can thrive on 4 or 5 hours of sleep based on depending on my day and what
Mhm.
goes on. I actually get through it, and I found that the more seasoned I get, I don't need as much sleep, and I'm not angry like I used to be when I was younger. Let me not get sleep. I was just dragging, and I would take everybody's head off in a minute. But I find that now I'm more
Mhm.
seasoned. It's not that way. I get up and go. I work out at least 4 days a week. It used to be a lot. It used to be more because I used to do more exercises
Oh,
in a
wow.
day. I would do kickboxing in the morning, then go straight to strength
Mhm.
training right after kickboxing. So yeah, it might have been 4 days, but it was sometimes I double up, and there were days where I triple up
Oh,
on my
wow.
workout, and that's
Mhm.
running on little sleep, but not feeling it and eating right. So that helps me a lot. Now, like you were saying, the disclaimer is this doesn't work for everyone. Am I saying don't survive, don't get 8 hours of sleep? Absolutely not. There are days I wish I really could. Sometimes my schedule doesn't allow for that because people have needs that I have to accommodate. But I am working hard on
Mhm.
it. This month was just absolutely terrible. It was.
Well, they say you need 2 full cycles of sleep, and they call it rapid eye movement is
REM.
the
Yep.
what makes you kind of that good REM sleep. So they say it peaks like every 3 hours.
hmm
So generally, if you get two really good cycles, then that's usually good. But some people I think can peak a little bit easier because they go so hard.
hmm
Um, so I'm just curious, as maybe just the way that you're built, maybe you peak faster. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then again, your nutritionist was like, hey, you should get some sleep based upon the results and you doing what you've been supposed to have done on the eating side. So just some things to think about and things to play around with. But yeah, but that's great though. You work out 4 times a week. That's solid.
Yeah.
That's solid. I'm glad you make time
No
for that.
matter how much sleep I get, I know I need to get my tail up
Hmm.
and go. Because one of the things on my vision board is do it even when you don't feel like it.
Oh yeah.
And so I have
Hmm.
it leaves me no option. But as far as how can we, because last week we were talking about setups being setbacks being a setup for a comeback. So how can we, if something is setting us back from this healthy lifestyle, eating well, exercising, drinking water, all the stuff that we're supposed to do, how is that setback setting us up for a comeback? Where's that space that we can do better? Does that make sense?
Hmm. Yeah. I think the term setback can be taken a lot of different ways. Because I was telling a story about my mom. Her setback was a
hmm
heart attack. Do you know what I'm
hmm
saying? So,
Yeah.
so I think that's so it's like it, it sucks to have to get such hardcore wake up calls uh, to be able to know that you need to do something drastically different in your life. So if it could be a smaller setback, like your numbers aren't right, or your muscles are tense, or you're not getting good sleep, then I think that gives a time for it's like an option. It's almost like God's whisper, what I'm saying,
Mm,
before his shout. It's like,
right.
okay, let me try to curtail and do things a little bit different. But I think those little whispers are an opportunity to lean in toward like malleability and just the notion that I need to do something different.
Mm,
Um, because it's easy. It's easy to get into a rhythm that doesn't serve us. Uh, if you don't know that it's not serving you, if you know what I'm saying, like unless you have evidence that, oh, something's not working, you know, it's easy to get
Yeah.
comfortable. So
Yep.
Here's
you know,
It is. And here's what I'm hearing Victor saying, correct me if I'm wrong. He's like, don't
hmm
wait for the big red flag. Notice the small things, which means getting in touch with yourself, being self-aware,
hmm
putting you first, all of those things that he mentioned in the beginning, and I threw some extra words in there. It's
hmm
all a part of it. And you all know my journey and what started me on this health journey. And I shared it with Victor when he and I first talked about the stalker. I did not need anybody to tell me. I just my breathing alone and me thinking there was a stalker, which there wasn't. And I'm not making fun of people who've ever been stalked. That's not it. But that's the term that I used, and it was drastic, and I made the change immediately. There was no the doctor had to tell me, none of that. I had to
I feel
make
like
the change, and
you kind
for
of got to
me,
color it in a little bit more about the stalker, the story about a stalker, because if they don't know, then it just sounds like you're talking about a real stalker. But
no. So, okay, let me do that. Thank you. Um, so I would go up the stairs. I'm in the staircase, and I would hear this. That kind of breathing is next thing it's gonna say is what are you wearing? I look behind me, and there was like no one there. Now I know we know. I know there's no one in the staircase. I would just look back just to make myself feel better and hope that somebody was there that was breathing heavy.
Ain't doing
That
it.
heavy breathing was me. I would get into my apartment, and it would take like at least 3 minutes for my breathing to come down where I don't hear it. And I was like, girl, you're going to have to do something about that. This is not right. And I'm a person, I don't want a doctor to make me do it. I'd rather just do it on my own because I am
Mhm.
aware that something is not right. You should not hear yourself breathing unless
Yeah.
you have asthma or you're overweight. Let's just say it. Sorry, y'all. But I had to do something and ask Reg. I immediately changed, totally changed everything up, started making my own stuff, my own flour, my own tomato sauce.
Oh,
It
wow.
was just, yeah, I went in hard. Like
I
I
love it.
can go all in like that. I'm looking to make my own pasta. I just got to figure out what's the best flour that I can make to make my own pasta because I've got all the equipment. It's just
Mm,
beast mode. I had to, and it served me well so I could avoid exactly what you're talking about when your body starts to tell you, hey, you are leading into something that's going to set you back. And then we hope you have the
mm,
mindset and the wherewithal to recognize that there's has to be a change.
yeah,
And that's the
absolutely.
conversation that you were saying, Victor. I mean, because Raquel's been sharing her journey for the past 2 years. I've been on my journey for a long time. And, we all have met people. Everybody who's watching the replay, including yourself, so point to you. We all have had these signs, some type of sign, that twitch in the back or that, wake up and you hear the creak. But you said that, you can go on this kind of hamster wheel of let's talk straight up. It's real talk. Push it aside, denial,
hmm
procrastination, I would say for most people.
Get to it
Most
later.
people, procrastination,
Mm-hmm.
because we have that mindset of, like we all came on here, things to do, 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 things to do.
hmm
We had our guest last week who had a traumatic accident. That she's just living her life, on a boat, and then got
hmm
flown off, broken back, and is working her way through. My family members, right? My father-in-law, I love him. I know if he's watching, I know my mother-in-law won't mind. He worked. He was working. He did everything he did for his family. He decided he was staying on for those extra 2 years for that extra Social Security. But God had another plan. And in the middle of him working, he could not move. And he had a slight stroke at work at that moment,
Mm.
caught in that time, right? That time. They rushed him, cleaned out his carotid artery. He is amazing. He lives here in Florida with us, doing amazing. But
Wow.
like there were those no signs of like that, right? But there were
Right.
signs of like, why are you working so much? Do you need to work until you're 70? You know, and you've got all those things like, well, that extra money, you know, he's an amazing, amazing provider. He did well and saved his money, but he was just like, well, you know, if I can do this and continue this, I will have that. But what did that do? God had a different plan and
Right.
doesn't miss the money, right?
God
You know,
said, sit down.
right. So your mom
He
had
said,
this extreme situation, you know, and that's where we're trying to have everyone
Mhm.
here know that like there's whispers every
Whispers.
single day.
There's whispers.
Whispers. I'm using that for Hal's book,
Ab-
right? Whispers in the Rain. You
Absolutely.
know, it's whispers
Yeah.
every day. Listen to them. Like Victor said, it's putting yourself first. And that is something that I think Raquel and I are so out to like disrupt and I would say eradicate
Yeah.
that whole like it's, you know, there's something wrong with putting yourself first. You know, take that
Right.
moment. If it's mental health, you know, as a dad, you know, as a mom, like if you're not good, what is that going to happen with your son?
Right.
It's not going to be a pretty day. And then what are we showing them? Raquel's
Right.
got that with all the people in her family and the people that she
Mhm.
serves every single day. We all
You
do
know,
that.
it's funny you say that. I just sent out a newsletter because I do newsletters for Optimal Wellness Community on a monthly basis. But I was talking about how, you know, me and my son were watching a movie, and there were these just characters that, you know, weren't processing their emotions well, and they would like lash at everybody else. And I was like, you know, see, that's what happens when you don't process your emotions. You know, like what do you do with your emotions? You know, but I use that as a way to create the ideology that, hey man, you always need to process your emotions, whether you talk to somebody or you write them out, or, you know, like you need to process things. Don't allow them to consume you. Like they're real, and you know, this is the effect. Like it's easy to be like, you know, it's super clear, like, oh, this is somebody, you know, it's two characters in the same show. You know, it's like bad emotional processing, and bad emotional intelligence. You know, this is it. This is what it looks like.
I live on that
Now,
every day
Victor,
in every cartoon.
tell us a little about your company. Sorry, sis, you
No,
mentioned it. Tell us about it.
Okay, so my thing is we go into different corporations. We don't go into different communities, whether it be like nonprofits, partner with a lot of nonprofits, go into different schools. Sometimes I do school presentations for the youth. But my thing is we approach wellness and being able to optimize wellness through what's called the 8 pillars of wellness. And it's an acronym. It's an easy acronym. That acronym is MENS POSE. MENS POSE, MENSPOSE. That's mental, emotional, nutritional, spiritual, physical, occupational, social, and economical. And when I say occupational, that's anything you give your time or your energy to that has significant meaning. That's not just your job. That's also you playing the guitar. That's you taking care of your parent. That's you, you know, but these things have to be at balance. We have to, the 8 pillars gives us an opportunity to really look at a guideline to be able to determine what may be off, what may be lacking, what may be deficient. Because a lot of times it's like you have to name it to tame it is a, you know, emotional intelligence ideology that I think is golden. Because you know, if you can't really put your finger on something, you can't tame it. So, you know, a lot of people have a lot of things going on, but socially they don't spend any time with anybody else. They're, you know, they're like loners, and they never, you know, never make time for fun. And it's just, you know, work, my body's good, you know, my mind's pretty healthy, you know. So you know, the mental can be influenced, of course, by the social, but you know, we're social beings. Like humans are social beings. So it's like you have to take in consideration what's it mean to be healthy socially.
I love those 8 pillars.
Yeah, can you run them again? I got mentally, emotionally, nutritional, spirituality, and I skipped P, and occupational and socially. So,
What's the P?
Physical. The P is physical.
uh-huh.
Yep, physical.
And
And
is it
the E is economical. Because Lord knows if your money's not right, then emotions
we
ain't
had
right.
many episodes on that one. More to come.
Yes.
We've had great
Now I'm all
people.
jacked up. That messes everything else up.
Yeah, that messes everything up. Like you can't date. It's hard. It's funny because I always do this thing where I have people guessing the 8 pillars, right? So I'm always like, oh yeah, what's the and what do you think the E is? And one of my hints is, if you're a guy and you don't have this, it's going to be really hard to date. If you don't have this pillar under control, it's going to be really hard to date.
That's
It
great.
depends. It depends on the person that you're dating, right?
Yeah, but I
You need
mean,
some money, even if you got to
you
go
gotta have
visit
some. You
person.
don't have
You
to have
gotta
it
have some money to
mastered.
put gas in that car. At
Just
least
like,
I'm
come
just
on.
saying, ride a bike.
Come
Isn't he
on,
into
come on.
health and wellness? He ride a
You
bike.
ain't
Right.
you ain't got to ball. You ain't got to
I don't
ball
know.
out.
I haven't
You want
dated in
this
a long
thing.
time, but if anybody's riding a bike to come and pick me up, I love you, and that's lovely. Date number 1 is fun. Date number 2, I don't want to be on your bike when it's raining. And
No, that ain't
Listen,
it.
date
That
number
ain't
1, that's not one of my exercises. I do not ride bikes. I know how, but I'd rather just walk and act like we got a flat tire or something. I
That's
don't know.
funny.
but I love it.
But it's absolutely hilarious. Victor, in the time that we have left, I have a really, really important question that I must ask.
She must.
Hey, you hyped it
Must.
up. Okay,
You
let's
ready?
hear. Yes,
You
sir,
ready?
let's
You
hear.
ready?
I'm ready. I think
Okay.
so. I do
Don't,
believe.
don't think. You ready? You ready?
I believe. Yes, I am ready. Run it.
All right. I looked over your website
Mhm.
and thought it was really great. Very open. It's not cluttered, right? My question
Mhm.
to you is, at the end of your website, what is the purpose of the bead maze? There's a
The
bead
purpose of
maze at the you know what a bead maze is? So it's
a
one of those
bead
things that
maze?
looks like, yeah, you've got like beads on it and you just move it and it goes, and you can push it up and down it goes up and down like this.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You
think it
may
was
call it
part-
something else. I call it a bead maze.
You know what? You know what it really was? I think
Mm-mm.
it was part of a template, and it was just like
Step back, step back, step back. My husband
It
is
was
watching this
there.
right now going, what? We forgot to get rid of that template.
it was there. I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't. It's not too off. You know what I'm saying? It's not super off brand. I feel like I was thinking maybe I could just be like, well, our time is precious here. So it's
Oh
representative
my God,
of.
that's so great.
I waited the entire show to ask this question. I'm like trying to think of how it would connect, and I'm like, I don't
No,
know. Maybe
I
some
kind of
people
like the
move
design.
slower than others.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so funny.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's you never know when the time is going to come when you're going to get called back, so you have to really be precious with this time that we have before your abacus runs out of beads.
Yeah, except it
Yeah.
wasn't an abacus. It was a bead maze.
All right, wait, I got one better. This is usually behind the scenes, people. This is like right now we are out of control. This is a behind the scenes. Victor, you left it there because you wanted to have it as a conversational piece for those people who look so deeply into the website and are so
Right.
connected to it that at the end they're just like, when I call or I connect and we finally be like, I love this and this and this. And I was curious at the end, what is that, wave? Is it like my heartbeat of health and the 8 pillars?
And I was counting to see, is it 8 waves that it makes?
Oh, that's funny.
See, my lack of sleep does not prevent me from noticing
Goodness.
things.
Oh,
Don't get it
that's so
twisted. I
good.
will notice.
Oh,
But
that's
that was
so good.
hilarious. I waited
It's-
the entire show to ask that.
It's for yeah, like she said, it's a whole question. It's a conversation starter. You know what I'm saying? Perception is an important part of wellness also. So
Perception
I
is
Got
part
you,
of
misperceived that.
got
wellness.
you.
That's well on you, ma'am. Well on
Okay,
you.
got you, got you. But before we wrap up, what's one thing that I say golden nugget, but it's so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
What's one green diamond worth its weight that you would leave our audience with as it relates to setbacks and health and wellness?
I think I'm gonna hit you with two G's. That's the
Ooh,
first
Okay.
time
two
I've
G's.
said this, but two G's. Grace and grit.
Mm.
And I use these two because I think when it comes to change, change isn't instant. It's something that takes time to really get into the frequency of. And sometimes it's not successful. And we have to continue and use our grit to keep going at it till we're able to chisel ourselves into, a more optimized person so that we can really be in the frequency of our success. We have to have that grace for ourselves. They say only the stiff are dead. Only the dead are stiff. You know what I'm saying? So that grace is like flexibility. We have to be flexible with ourselves. Know that change is going to take time, but at the same time, we have to have the grit to keep going towards making that change. And that doesn't. It's not easy. It's not easy to come to stay committed to. But that with that self love, your self love deserves that grit that you need to make those steps toward optimal well being into a life you love, and creating what it is that you think you're supposed to be here for, creating what it is that you want. Period. Um, so I think grace and grit.
Love it.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. That
That was
is
awesome.
awesome. Absolutely
Thank you.
love that. There you go. Drop the bomb.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with
Oh,
it.
this is big. Victor, this is our setback. We for 2 years have been doing this show and we have been talking
Mhm.
about, man, I wish we had these really cool, sound effects. 2 years. And then
Yeah.
with that setback became continuous conversation, like you said, in the communities
Mhm.
that, keep it together. And Raquel and I had our weekly call, we set it up. It's been a while and we worked. We worked on the whole year's worth of conversations for the whole entire year, setting up the people that are coming on to have these amazing talks like you. And we found how to bring, because we've had almost for 2 years, right? Sis saying, no, we can't do
Mhm.
it. No, we need to hire somebody. No, we don't know. And we did it ourselves. So you came in as the first guest.
Oh, with the
First
sound effects.
sound effects. Give it up. We need to
Yes.
clap. Episode 160.
Yeah, I'm about to say a sound effect.
You came in walking with the sound effect of, and you dropped the 2G boom bomb.
That was a freestyle too. Like
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
think I've ever said those before, but that's what I was really feeling that though.
This
It's
is
like
what we bring out. This is real talk, man.
That's what we
That's
bring
what we
out.
bring out.
That's what we
and,
do. Running
and
on
y'all
4 hours or 8 hours of sleep. We
and y'all
bring that out.
do what y'all do so well. I've had fun with y'all. It was
Oh,
nice.
that's very kind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
and
So, in addition to, ladies and gentlemen, in addition to grace and grit, please remember that this is not a journey that you have to take by yourself, because it is only together that we can rise and thrive. Till next time.
absolutely.